Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecko. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms, including Facebook and YouTube. So if you're joining from either place, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully, I'll be able to go through them all as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started here with a look at our headlines and what we're tracking out for the next couple of days. Well, the big story is going to be those cold temperatures overnight tonight. We have that freeze warning in place across the tri-state for temperatures getting to and around that freezing mark. So if you do have any plants or potted plants in the ground, you definitely want to cover them up and protect them or bring them inside to protect them from this freeze. Now, as we go through the weekend, it will be a cold start for our Saturday, but by the time we get into Sunday, we are going to warm up significantly. We'll top back out in the mid to upper 60s, and then we'll climb all the way through the 70s and 80s through the middle of next week. And then we also have a more unsettled weather pattern taking shape for the second half of next week as well. So let me take you through what's going on out there right now across the entire country. It's fairly quiet. We had that cold front slide through last night. That brought us that round of showers and storms early this morning. But since then, those have all pushed off to our south and east. And high pressure has also helped clear us out of that cloud cover. Here's a very long loop of the last 18 hours. So waking up early this morning, maybe you heard some rumbles of thunder, especially along and north of the Ohio River there. And then as we went through the day, we caught a couple of stray showers, and then we started to clear out of the clouds earlier on this evening. So we actually got to see a little bit of a sunset before it actually got dark out there, which was nice to kind of round out the work week. In terms of temperatures, here's a look at, or not temperatures, in terms of rainfall amounts, here's a look at kind of a sampling of radar estimated rainfall amounts. It's not really showing, oh, there's our colors, but we picked up around 3/10 of an inch here in the Evansville area, a bit more as you went north towards I-64 and north of there, maybe around an inch in some locations. That may be a little bit overestimated, but some of those thunderstorms put down a good bit of rainfall in a few locations, but we didn't see any flooding issues due to the lack of rain that we've had over the last couple of days. But temperatures today, this will show us our high temperature, but remember, this was recorded before the cold front came through. So these temperatures that you're seeing were what our temperatures were like right around midnight as we turned the clock into today. So not representative of what it was feeling like out there this afternoon. We actually only warmed up into the 40s this afternoon, and taking a look at how that departs from our normal high, we're running around, or at least a little bit below average, but that high for the day, remember, was actually recorded earlier in the night. So that doesn't actually give us a good idea of what that kind of temperature drop was actually like. Here is a 24-hour temperature change. This is more representative of that power of the cold front, down by around 33 degrees compared to this time yesterday. So definitely brought in some of that cooler air. And taking a look at our temperatures now, we are only sitting in the lower 40s. 42 degrees here in Evansville, 45 there in Henderson, 40 down towards Madisonville, and even up towards Huntingburg. So definitely going to get cold out there tonight. Over the next 12 hours, with clear skies and winds from the north, that'll drop us down to right around freezing overnight and into early tomorrow morning, which is why the National Weather Service has issued that freeze warning across much of the tri-state here through 9 a.m. So if you do have any sensitive vegetation in the ground or in potted plants, you either want to bring them inside or cover them up to protect them. And taking a look at some frost and freeze climatology, our average last freeze here in the tri-state area is typically at the very end of March or beginning of April, specifically April 1st through April 15th. And taking a look at the last freeze date specifically for the Evansville area, on average from 1995 to 2025, it has been around April 7th being the last day that we see a full-on freeze. And in terms of our last frost, that typically comes little bit later because temperatures don't need to be that cold to actually produce frost. They can still be a little bit above that freezing mark. So last 36-degree day climatology, that puts our average around April 19th. So still could see some colder snaps, especially at night, but we're not expecting any big drops in our temperatures through the next 7 days. But we do have that freeze warning in for tonight, so we do have that alert just to kind of bring your attention to those colder temperatures. And of course, for any of you gardeners out there, we want to make sure that you're protecting your plants. So that freeze warning will go into until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. But once that freeze lifts, it's going to be a fairly nice day for the first half of the weekend. Mostly sunny skies, temperatures climb back up into the low to mid 50s. And then beyond this Saturday, we continue to warm up. Even starting on Sunday, we'll top out in the upper 60s and then we'll remain above average through much of next week, and possibly even beyond the next 7 days. We're looking at above average temperatures there. So there's a look at our temperature trend. Our average high is around 61 degrees. That's denoted by that red line you see there. Will be above average starting Sunday, Monday, and continuing through the end of next week. The warmest days will be Monday and Tuesday as winds will start to come up from the south, and then we'll have a couple of frontal boundaries slide through, and that'll bring us the chance for some more scattered showers and a few thunderstorms towards the middle and end of next week. And the Climate Prediction Center kind of highlighting a more active period as well, with above average precipitation through the first week of April. So here's a look at the longer range European model just to give you an idea of how this all shakes out. A few spotty showers there on Monday and on Tuesday, but again, the better chances for any widespread shower or thunderstorm activity will be along this cold front that moves in Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning, and then another area of low pressure rides in along its coattails. So that'll bring in another wave of rain throughout the day on Thursday before we kind of dry out headed into Friday, but we could still have a few lingering showers out there for the end of next week. Let me go ahead and take a look at some of your comments, see if I can answer any questions for you. Suzanne says it was sure windy and cold today. Yeah, a huge difference, especially behind that cold front. We've been on this roller coaster ride of temperatures for the last several weeks. I feel like we haven't really been able to get anything consistent here, whether it be consistent cold or consistent warmth. It's always just been very up and down. Cheyenne says, good evening, William, with a rainfall report. He got 0.06 of an inch today with some early thunder. Yeah, many of us probably woke up due to that thunder. Kylie asking, how do I submit a pet of the week? I believe we have a section on our website where you can actually submit the pet of the week, but I think a lot of the times some folks just email Jeff directly with those pet pictures, so I don't necessarily have the pet picture repertoire that he has, but I'm sure if you go to our website, you'll be able to submit any photos you would like, and if you want to submit them for specifically this stream, you can go under weather and submit your pet photo there as well. Ashlyn says, good evening to you. Laura Gray, she is watching from Dawson Springs. Well, thank you all for tuning in here. We don't have a whole lot left here in the forecast, so I'm just going to wrap it up and send you guys on your way. I'll send you over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, stay safe and have a great rest of your night, and remember to bundle up and bring your plants in if you have any